So this is now a nice segue into ILP. Okay, like.
So ILP, I know Chris is a very expert in ILP, but let me.
I'm not expert. I'm hated for saying what I have said.
Yeah.
He's hated because he's expert. Okay. So ILP, okay, it's a long story. There are two types of ILP in the markets. One is a protection-based ILP, and one is an investment-only ILP, 101, okay, so to speak. So insurance company actually started off ILP with the protection-based one in I think in the late 1990s. And the reason why they launched ILP because people find that the returns from whole life is not so fantastic. Okay, so there must be something better to outperform whole life, and so that's where ILP comes in. So ILP, imagine, is like a whole life plan. There's coverage, there is cash value, but this cash value, instead of in the insurance company now taking the responsibility to grow and give guarantee, even the insurance for ILP, there's no guarantee in the cash value.
Oh, the whole sum is tambah into high risk.
Like a unit trust, put into a unit trust.
So basically, ILP, the mechanism of ILP is that you as a policyholders have to decide which fund to go in. You are the decision maker. You are the investment decision maker.
Which fund, asset allocation, so you can decide what percentage go to bonds, what percentage go to equities. You decide yourself.
So the insurance company will give you maybe like say 20, 30 funds. You decide. You want to buy ILP? Okay, you decide which one is good. Okay, and then when you decide, you bear the returns, rewards, you bear the risk. If the fund doesn't do well, it's not my problem because you choose it. I give you a choice, you choose it. So when you go into ILP, first of all you need to understand that you need to be investment savvy to buy ILP because otherwise the return will depends on what you choose. Okay, I mean I've seen cases in my past whereby clients actually buy into bond funds or money market funds. Okay,
2022 all crash.
And the reason why they do that because of the Asia crisis, and then they do a switch from equity to money market, and then forever stay there. Can you imagine what kind of return you get for money market fund?
Quite boring.
Yeah, very little, not enough to take care of the cost. So the point is that when you go into ILP, you need to know what you're investing into, because there is no guarantee cash value. Okay, the risk is that if let's say the cost of insurance increases. Another thing about ILP is that
protection ILP.
The protection ILP, there is these charges on the protection cost.
Okay.
Let's say you buy into term critical illness, there's potential cost. Every year, the insurance company will deduct this cost from the cash value.
To cover the protection.
And because this protection is based on their attained age, that means today I'm 30, the cost will be very little, but today I'm 60, the cost will be very high.
Basically, the insurance charge goes up according to age.
And because of these escalation charges, if the cash value of the ILP doesn't grow enough, the policy may lapse.
Lapse meaning?
Lapse.
No more.
No more.
Huh? Can like that? Happen
if the cash value, the funds doesn't grow well, the cash value didn't go well, and then the cost increases so much that it eats into the cash value becomes zero. The cash value becomes zero.
So whatever I put in all gone.
The policy ends.
Technically speaking, yes. So when you look at the policy illustration, you can actually see if let's say at certain ages, the policy will be zero. It means lapse already. So these are some things that a person needs to know when you buy ILP.
But of course, the insurance company will say that as long in the lifetime of your protection ILP, if you have never sold any units, you have never take out money from your investment, they will still guarantee your sum assured. But the fear is that along the way, you may have taken out some monies from your so-called cash values, which is actually your investments, right? Then the sum assured guarantee it is no longer promised, so-called.
This sum assured guarantee usually have a duration. It doesn't cover for life.
I see.
So it's like the first how many years?
So there's always that risk.
I think the bigger issue is again, right? People who don't self invest, when they take up this one, is because they themselves don't know what to invest. Now, how do they select from the list of 20, 30 portfolios? How do they decide which is better? Of course, it's the insurance agent or financial planner will tell them, from my experience, Mr. Tan, this is better, this is better. Right?
So my pet peeve with protection ILP in the past is that it is almost like buying a term plus a unit trust. Right? So if you want to buy protection ILP, the same thing apply, right? I mean, why don't you just go and buy if you really, really want to invest the rest? Again, I have to repeat and say we are not advocating buy term, invest the rest. But if you really want to, you can always go and buy a term And there are so many other instruments out there for you to choose.
S&P 500, low cost.
ETF, low cost index funds,
Yeah.
right? And even if you like actively managed funds, there are so many unit trusts out there. There is really
all very low, right? Very, very cheap.
Yeah,
How much are the fees of the ILPs
It depends on the fund. So
generally? Are there cheap ones? I don't know. Do they?
I don't know. Most of them are actively managed funds, so it wouldn't be cheap, lah.
It'll
So
be what, 0.5 to-
1.5, 1.9 for 100%
You're kidding.
equity. For 100% equity, I mean actively managed fund, that's the price they will charge, lah.
Wow.
I mean, if you are talking about point something percent, usually these are index
Yeah.
or ETFs,
Yeah.
right? So there aren't many. But my point here is this: why do you tie your hands to 20 funds, for example, when
Yeah.
there are so many
Yeah.
out there for you to
Yeah.
choose, lah?
Yeah.
So that's my problem with protection ILP, lah. And maybe Eddie can talk a bit more about the so-called the wealth accumulation ILP.
So the investment LP basically has very little protection, as little as 1%. 1%.
What do you mean by 1%
That
protection?
means in the event of a death claim, the insurance company will guarantee the cash value plus 1%.
Can you put some numbers and
Let's say.
Is it premium or cash value, Eddie? Some premium.
I think it depends how they structure, but usually it's based on the account value. So let's say you put in $100,000
I put in $100,000
in this plan.
of premium.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's an investment ILP, right? So
Yes.
you invest and you decide to put 100,000 into
Oh,
this.
I invest $100,000
Yes.
into this investment
right.
ILP.
That's
Okay.
So in the event of death claims, they look at the cash value. $100,000, where is it right now? Is it 90 or is it 120?
Sure. Because
Okay.
it might grow or go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can cover. So in the event of death, they look at the account value plus 1% of extra into the.
The sum assured is just 1% of the account value, lah. So let's say, let's use an easier number. Let's say you started with 110,000.
Okay.
And then at the point of your demise, your account value is 100,000. So your family will get 101,000.
1%.
1%.
Okay.
1% more.
Are there better ones? What's the best?
I mean, they structure it that way because it is an investment ILP.
right.
Ma. Insurance is not you're not interested in investment, but the insurance company, because the insurance company gives you the 1%.
1% covers me.
It's not meant for coverage.
Cover my cat. Yeah.
It's because
Your cat
as
more
an
than that.
insurance product, there must be insurance element.
Yes.
The minimum can go is 1%.
Oh, they're making some regulatory requirement? I don't know.
So
They meet the regulatory requirement of
Yeah.
1%. They give you at least 1%
So it's insurance
insurance.
product.
And are there what do you call it? A wealth ILP, is it?
Or investment ILP. lah.
Investment ILP that covers a much bigger percentage.
You can increase it.
It's up to me, right?
Yes. But the more you increase it, the more
expensive
the
it gets.
costs will come
Yeah,
in.
but it doesn't make sense anymore, right? Because your purpose of buying this thing is for investment. The more you want the coverage, the lesser go into your investment. Ma.
It just doesn't make sense for this policy anymore.
Yeah, so if you want to invest, actually, you should just go and invest into
just
something
go invest,
that's
right?
yeah.
And get this 1%, 10%. Even 10% is nothing. I will at least need 100%, or 200%. Then it makes sense for insurance.
Yes,
If it
yes.
chap ching,
You are 100% correct.
Yeah.
So let's, I mean, like what Eddie said, this is an investment ILP. It's not meant to provide you with massive coverage. The 1% is just to meet the regulatory
So
requirement.
in short, the investment ILP, it's nothing more like it's just a fund management company giving you a list of things to buy from, actively managed, so it's not like cheap at all, and give you some insurance coverage ranging minimally from 1% to something above.
Yeah, most people, if they buy it for investment, it would be 1% because they really want most of their money into the investment, right?
So in short, people who buy ILP actually don't know what the hell they're buying. Most of the case, it has to be, because if you know what you're buying, you'll be like me, go buy a term and invest in a low cost ETF or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you
So
know investment,
are there room for this to exist genuinely? Okay, Mr. Tan, when will you ever buy an ILP?
why you put me?
It's got over a dead body, is it? No, is there any circumstances?
About 5-6 years ago.
很辛苦呀，勉强。
About 5-6 years ago, I met face to face with a pretty senior person from our central bank.
Okay.
And this person asked me this question: do you really think there is no place for ILP?
Sure.
And my answer to this person is, I really think there is no place
Really?
for ILP, because I feel that there are other ways of doing it.
Sure.
This is my personal opinion, and I shared this with the regulator.
And then after you get death threat.
No, that was 5-6 years ago. That threat was like 2003,
Okay.
2000.
You're still alive, thank God.
But I really cannot. I don't know, maybe Eddie can think of a valid reason, but I really cannot think of a
Well, if expert like you cannot even think of.
reason
Ladies and gentlemen,
to
any
use
one of you have bought investment ILP, if you have, Uncle here says he cannot think of a reason why you should ever buy that.
Anyway, we have written an article
Sure.
on it on our website because there's also counter argument that says that when you buy an investment ILP, the insurance company gives you bonus units, and it all looks very attractive, right? But 羊毛长在羊身上, right? And we have looked at the cost and go and read the article because I don't want to be too technical on this podcast. After considering even all the bonus units and all that, to us, it doesn't make sense. It's not just from a cost standpoint, even from an investment standpoint, even from an investment execution standpoint, it doesn't make sense. Because when you buy investments, you want it to be on a platform whereby you can frequently rebalance. Sell some, buy some to rebalance, right? It's so difficult today if you have got some investment, S&P 500 ETF, and then you got ILP. How are you going to do rebalancing? Because they're sitting on different platforms.
Sure.
Your S&P 500 is sitting on a brokerage. Your investment ILP is sitting on the insurance company platform. There are people who buy an ILP because some ILP gives you access to fund managers that in the past was only accessible by AIs, right? So now today the retail can go into it. But we think that it's very risky just to do that. You buy one ILP just because you like this one fund manager. Because what happened in the future, the insurance company decide that they don't want to use this fund manager because they can perform badly, right? So the insurance company decide to change fund manager. Then you are stuck with an ILP. So there are just too many restrictions.
I see.
And when it comes to investments, we don't like restriction because this is investing. You want the flexibility to make changes,
Rebalancing,
right? And many things.
reallocation.
So honestly, I don't know, Eddie, do you have any?
Give me a situation
can think of
that-
anything that ILP may be used.
That
may be
ILP,
useful?
you will ever buy ILP. You are the expert.
Firstly, I terminated my ILP.
I don't have.
Oh, so
Last
you have fallen prey to it as well.
Last time.
Okay.
Yes. I don't. Okay. At Haven, we don't recommend ILP.
Okay.
Beyond what Chris had mentioned, another thing is the lock-in period. It means when you buy ILP, there's lock-in period.
How long?
Meaning depends on the structure
The
of the
structure
plan.
lah, 5 years,
So it
10
could be
years,
5 years, 10 years, 15 years.
You kidding?
Yeah.
So long?
So if you
Minimum now?
surrender within this period of time, there will be a surrender charge. They will take away and penalize you for surrendering.
Oh, I think I know why they put in that. Because the performance of funds usually are much better over a longer time horizon.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you say this innocently, okay, but you
Yes.
have just given an excuse for them locking you in.
Yes.
Okay, but the real reason is not this. The real reason is that because they have already paid the distributor upfront, the comms, right? So and then a lot of bonus units are already given upfront.
Because they pay a lot of commission bonus.
Plus bonus, there are costs that the insurance
Yes.
company incur, right? So if you withdraw too early, then
Then
they
they
have to
lose
claw back,
money,
right? They lose money, right? But since you brought this up, and I can't help, but talk to you about this because you have given a reason, right? Because a salesperson may say that the lock-in is good because we always say stay invested.
Yes.
So you buy this structure that forces you to lock in, isn't that good?
Yep.
Well, yes, firstly, it may seem good. That's provided the underlying investment will perform. We only say stay invested because the stock market goes up in the long run.
Only for a certain count.
No,
certain-
only because we are talking about markets,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So we're talking about index.
Yes.
Right? The index goes up in the long run.
And only for some index, not all index.
Yes, and but if the underlying is an actively managed fund that is buying in and out,
that's different.
it may not be in the long
Sure.
run, it will go
Sure,
up, right?
sure.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is that the lock-in is not originally designed
For that purpose.
for this purpose,
Ah.
right? So I need to talk about this because sometimes I hear like, say, yeah, but isn't a lock-in good?
I see.
Yeah, but it's not originally for the purpose.
So can I ask a point blank question? How much commission does the agent get or
Eddie
insurance
knows
company
better.
get for selling ILPs?
How
Ballpark?
much? It really depends. I think
Depend?
it could be. I think it's similar to whole life plans. I think
Which
it's
is
similar.
roughly?
It could be as much 100%. Or let's if it's a recurring premiums,
Yeah.
it could be 100%
Of what?
of the first year
Huh?
premiums.
100%?
If it's recurring, that means you put.
Okay, wait. Cannot be. Wait, I'm trying to figure out. So I pay $1,000. No, let's say I pay $10,000, $12,000 a year, 1,000 every month for buying a ILP or whole life, and I intend to pay for, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 all the way to my death.
Yes.
My first year, everything I paid for goes as a commission.
The commissions amount could be a first year amount.
Yeah.
Okay, but it could be spread over a number of years.
Okay.
But the bulk of it is in the first year.
Oh, really?
Yes.
In the good old days, the 90s, when I was in the insurance industry, if you sell a protection ILP, the commission structure is the same as whole life,
Which is?
which is 100% of the first year. First year we get 50, second year we get 25, and the third year we get 25 of 1 year's premium. Now they spread it a bit longer, right? And I'm talking about agent getting it, because
agent.
there is still manager, and there is still the manager's manager, because 3-layer overriding. Yeah, but as an agent, the protection ILP, and I'm talking about 90s, I'm not in touch with the commissions now, right? Agents get paid about 100% of the first year premium spread over 3 years.
Wow. No wonder, of course, they all push this plan. And when you tell them
you say that, I didn't say.
Yeah, but none of them ever. Now, every time insurance agent comes to me, I say, "Can I buy term insurance to them?" They give me this black face, you cheapo, you cheapo.
Yeah, but I always want to say this because I repented and I have to say this whether at Provident or Haven, we are not saying that commission-based advisors are all dishonest, unethical, and they sell only because of commissions.
Sure.
Because you and me know people who are genuinely good.
Of course, they are.
Right? They take commissions, but they genuinely want to give advice. But we must recognize the fact, and that goes back to Haven's original intention, right? We must recognize the fact that it is a temptation.
Of course.
It is a conflict of interest.
There's a conflict of interest.
Right? So whatever good you are as a person, Lou, right? If you join Haven, let's say as an insurance specialist, I believe in you. I believe you're honest. I believe you're all out there to want to do good. But if you join Haven today, we just want to put in place a structure whereby you cannot be tempted. It's as simple as that.
Oh, I see.
So that as a client, when you come in, you know that Lou not only is an upright, honest person,
And I work in an organization.
that create an environment that you won't be tempted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, wow. How do I get in touch with Haven?
Got
link or not?
Two, three, five, 353. Okay, I'm just kidding. Okay,
Got free gift not? Everybody asks for this kind of thing. They always ask me, Mr. If I go through, will I get one free umbrella? Free char siu rice that you do, that kind of thing. Okay, anyway, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a link somewhere.
No free gift, right? No free gift.
Yeah, you see, they are so low cost that I cannot afford
No free gift. But I think
$10 can give lah.
no.
$5 can give
My reply is this lah. You will value the advice more than the free gift. That's one. Secondly, you want Haven to survive.
Yes.
Right? And we are already operating at a very low cost. And we are hoping to keep the organization as viable in the short run, because we think that it will be more than viable in the long run, just like Provident.
Very good.
Right? But in the short run, we are trying to keep it as viable as possible so that we can be here for a long time to serve the mass market.
You're all interested in Haven, I'll provide a link. You're going to sign up, no free gift. Don't go and ask me, Mr. Lou, you got any promotion code? Remember, I didn't get one char siu rice, which is still a promise and not delivered yet. But more importantly is, don't look for me, look for the link, okay? I think that's the important thing. But I want to segue to, okay, you all say until very good. Why didn't you tell me 20 years ago or 30 years ago when I signed up? So now I cannot start with one right now. I cannot start how?
Firstly, take out a tissue and cry. After that, ask Eddy. So Eddy, how? That means those people with existing plans.
See, how? I pull out, I lose some money. I stay, I also lose some money. How?
So I think
I could tell.
Okay. Okay, this is not so easy, not so straightforward, because a lot depends on the situation. So you want to talk about whole life or ILP?
Both, because a lot of people cannot start both.
So let's say a person has whole life plans. After he listening to this, wondering what should I do about that?
Sure.
Okay. I mean, first of all, the question to ask is that, do you still need the whole life coverage? Ask yourself this question. Because if there's a need to, then that's fine. You want to give away a legacy amount. But if the purpose is for protection only, then maybe there's no need. Okay. Second question, I will probably guide the person, is there a way to repurpose the plan? Because you might remember, I mentioned that whole life there are 3 reasons you can do it.
Okay.
So for a person who is maybe 30 plus, 40 plus, okay, then I'll see whether, can you use it to repurpose to provide for alternative medicine to support your integrated shield plan? Okay. This amount don't need to be a lot. Usually we recommend about 200,000, 300,000. That's about it.
That's a lot already.
Nowadays, alternative medicine, not cheap, no.
No, but 200,000, 300,000, the premiums is
if you buy young, 200,000 is 100,000 sum assured for whole life back then. It's probably like $3,000.
Yeah.
A year, right?
A year.
Which means
so it really depends, because some people may have a lot more.
Yeah.
So we will size it. I mean, doesn't mean that you have to top up. No need. Okay, we're not trying to repurpose it. I'm saying that, you got 200,000, 300,000, maybe that can use to fill up that space. All right. So first of all, find out, is there a need for lifelong? Number two, is there a way to repurpose it? And then the third question is that, well, is there
Get out.
You want to get out. The next question I'll ask is, what's the any health conditions or not? Because if you want to get out, the idea is replaced.
Yeah.
You want to replace your term plan.
Sure.
So we need to find out whether is there pre-existing conditions. Okay, because if the person is healthy, then
Sure.
easy question. Okay, if you're willing to take the loss of premium, the
I
loss.
did that.
Okay, and then buy a plan, that's fine. But sometimes the person may have medical conditions. Then we may say, well, maybe how about putting the whole life plan into what I call a paid up mode. Paid up mode. That means paid up mode basically means the insurance company. That means you stop paying the premiums, but the insurance company will convert this whole life to a death cover term plan. Yeah, death cover plan. And the premium, and you can stop paying the premiums. It's just a term plan. So these are some strategies we can talk about how you can optimize the plans for this person.
And is there one that I ever heard? Who was it? I think it was Money Hour when they're still around. They say something about there are insurance brokers out there you can sell back.
Secondary market.
Secondary market.
Yeah, there are people who buy policies.
Yeah.
I think the whole life plan, based on what I've spoken to them, they are not as popular. Okay, but those are called verticals lah. But the secondary markets, they are more interested to buy endowment plans. Those are called traded endowments.
I see.
Right? But what Eddy is trying to say is that, I mean, I have got whole life plans before. I terminated them when I was 35. There are ways to resolve this. There are ways to restructure this, right? If you need it, keep it. If you have it, you can repurpose it for something else, right? If you don't need it, but you are undercover and you want to buy more term plan, but you got no more budget already, there are various ways, like what Eddy has said, paid up, right? Whereby you can stop paying for that insurance policy, so free up some cash, and you can upgrade more coverage by using term plans. So there are ways around it. One more last way, which Eddy didn't say, which I'm going to suggest, and it's a bit controversial, is that, for example, you got a whole life plan and you really don't need it anymore. Okay, you can, instead of selling it to the secondary market, you assign it to your children. So you see who is your favorite child. So let's say Kate is your favorite child.
Sure.
Okay. So now you tell Kate, you want to take over the
She's
policy.
my favorite eldest daughter.
Favorite eldest daughter, because you got no other eldest
Yes.
daughter. Okay. Very clever. Okay, so you tell Kate, you take over the policy. You pay the premiums from now on, and you assign the policy to her. So
Then
owns
she
it.
will like, your curse now, you pass it to me.
No, it's such a great deal for her.
Why?
Because you have paid for it for the last 30 years.
Sure.
Now she take over maybe for the next 20, 30 years. When you die, the death benefits pay out. Her ROI very high, you know.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. The only one downside is this lah. Kate may every day wish that you will go earlier. Because once she takes over, and then next year you're still around, it's like, walao,
Aiyo, eh.
why are you still around?
Yeah.
After 15 years, walao,
Walao,
why you still? Because every year that you
She has to
leave,
pay.
the ROI is
That's
dropping.
my point. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
my
okay,
point.
other than this moral hazard, it can be joke aside, it can
Okay.
be workable for some people.
Okay,
They pass it as an investment policy
Sure.
to their children, then they stop paying lah.
I see.
Yeah.
But in short, there are no easy answers.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
and really, I think the decision making is whether you need the money or not. You need the coverage, you need the money. Are you able to pay for the premiums? Because today, if you it's no problem paying the premiums. My way, I may suggest, why not you just keep it?
Yeah.
Because you got no problem paying the premiums.
Especially
you
if
paid for it for how many years? 20, 30 years.
Especially if I bought it 20, 30 years ago,
Yeah.
the premium is really affordable lah. Then you keep it lor.
Yeah.
But I think what we are trying to say is that there is a way around it. It's not all doom and gloom lah. You can restructure it lah.
Okay, so is this the reason they can come to Haven?
Yes, they can.
Yes.
Yeah, come to Haven and you will give them some advice.
Yep.
Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, in the 1in6 group, there's a lot of community expert that will give you some advice what to do. But if you're going to start with one, for me and uncle there and uncle here, they all terminated it. Okay, but I think we terminated young.
Yeah,
But let's say your
terminated
age is already 40 plus, 50 already, you're going to steal one of them, go look for Haven. The link is below here somewhere. Get them to give you advice. Yeah, there's not an easy, straightforward answer.
One of the things that we do is that we offer what I call a insurance review
I see.
for some people who actually want a second opinion.
I see.
So what is this review entails is that the person will actually key in some information for us to analyze, and then we'll we analyze their insurance policies and the gaps, and then give them options what to consider. Yeah. So this is a complementary approach for those who wants to have a second opinion. Yeah.
This is a nice segue now to other type of complicated products out there. And then we'll finally end up with advice that you can give to different age group. Okay, so I think there's so many types of insurance out there. Okay, we cover the three most common one, which is term, whole life insurance, and investment policy. But insurance is much more than that, right? It's everybody will know about car insurance because they both have to buy, right? Okay. There is integrated shield plan. There's critical illness, and there's endowment. Okay, these three maybe if you can cover them in a flash and tell us what should we do with them.